Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're diving into something really fascinating and honestly a bit strange. Hypnosis.
It really is a
Yeah.
tool used for centuries. Medicine, therapy, rituals, even stage shows.
Right. But science still can't quite pin down how it works or, why.
Exactly. The mechanism remains elusive.
And what if? What if this powerful ability didn't even start with us? That's the pretty wild idea from Vince DiTanna in Hypnosis and Extraterrestrials, which is our main source today.
A very provocative premise, definitely.
So our mission here is to explore this possibility. Could extraterrestrials have used hypnosis to, well, guide humanity? Maybe even control us for thousands of years?
Tracing it all the way back,
Yeah.
from ancient trance practices right up to modern UFO accounts.
Yeah, we'll look at things like missing time, these so-called screen memories, and, the ethics of it all. We'll touch on those trance rituals in ancient cultures, how they seem so similar everywhere.
And how missing time in abduction reports has these hallmarks of hypnotic suggestion.
And maybe even how these old mechanisms might still be playing out today in our media, our institutions. So let's unpack this. The idea that hypnosis isn't even ours. That's quite something, isn't it?
It really is. And what's striking, as DiTanna points out, is the consistency you mentioned. Shamans, priests, healers, across completely separate cultures, they used incredibly similar methods.
Like what specifically?
Well, core ingredients, sound, rhythm, light, patterns, vibration, all used to focus attention, narrow it down, and make the mind more suggestible.
It's kind of amazing when you think about it. Thousands of languages, countless traditions, but these trance techniques look remarkably alike.
Which leads to that big question. Is this just human biology? Something innate pushing us towards these states? Or were the techniques taught, shared, maybe, whispered from somewhere else?
That's a huge question. DiTanna really digs into the anthropology. Siberian shamans drumming for hours, Amazonian tribes chanting. It's everywhere in early societies.
And that striking consistency in rhythm, movement, guided imagery, it suggests these weren't just parties or ceremonies.
No, he calls them technologies of consciousness,
Yeah.
deliberately used to alter the mind.
Precisely. And usually there was a guide, right? A shaman or priest leading the way.
Yeah, someone with authority, built through ritual, maybe costume, reputation.
And the group follows, becoming this sort of synchronized entity, breathing together, swaying together, a collective mind, really open to suggestion.
It sounds a lot like modern hypnosis, actually. Trust the hypnotist, focus attention, relax your critical thinking.
The core mechanics seem very similar, but did they need an instruction manual?
Well, that's another interesting bit. DiTanna mentions cave art, petroglyphs, spirals, circles near ritual scenes, stuff researchers puzzle over. Could they be like visual records of trance? Or maybe even early hypnotic manuals, encoding how to get into that state?
It forces you to think about the motive, doesn't it? Was it about healing, connecting with spirits, gifts from perhaps benevolent teachers?
Or was it about control? The source kind of leaves both doors open.
And as societies got bigger, this didn't fade away, it just shifted. Moved into temples, became part of organized religion, central to authority.
So the guide wasn't just the local healer anymore.
It became the voice of a god. Think ancient Egypt purification, chanting, then revelations in sanctuaries. Or the Oracle of Delphi in Greece, inhaling vapors, giving cryptic advice.
Advice that kings followed. And India, with Vedic hymns making time dissolve.
The structure is consistent. Narrow attention, lower resistance, insert suggestion.
And the implications are huge. This idea that suggestion could scale up. A whispered phrase becomes an action later.
Or even commands scaled up across society. Rituals repeated every year, embedding obedience, loyalty, maybe sacrifice. Culture itself becomes the hypnotist.
Wow. So a single command could echo for centuries, hidden in plain sight in liturgy, in calendars, binding but unseen. How did that change how we see our own traditions?
It suggests a deep, maybe deliberately programmed layer beneath them. And look at the symbols of power staffs, crowns, serpents, eyes.
Yeah, those are everywhere in ancient authority.
DiTanna suggests they acted like hypnotic cues, triggering submission, awe. Just seeing a crown could evoke obedience, like a trigger word for someone hypnotized.
So the whole spectacle of power, it's hypnotic theater.
And maybe taught by someone who understood the mechanics long before we did. Many of our modern institutions, churches, courts, still use rhythm, repetition, symbols. We call it tradition.
But the underlying structure, the source argues, looks awfully familiar, like Delphi or Thebes.
Exactly.
Okay, let's jump forward. From ancient temples to something more modern and frankly, pretty creepy. Missing time in UFO stories.
Ah, yes, a classic element. People see a strange light. Next thing they know, hours have passed. No memory.
Or hikers just remembering fragments, clocks jumping ahead. The source argues this isn't random. It's like the fingerprints of hypnosis.
Think about it. Memory gaps. Performing actions, maybe even undergoing procedures without pain or recall.
That fits perfectly with hypnosis,
Yeah.
right? A hypnotist can tell you to ignore pain or to forget everything afterwards.
And researchers like Bud Hopkins, David Jacobs, they used hypnotic regression to try and unlock these memories, often revealing encounters with non-human beings.
But here's the kicker, the paradox. If hypnosis reveals these abduction memories, why were they hidden in the first place?
Right. DiTanna asks, could hypnosis be both the key and the lock? The tool for recovery, but also the tool used for erasure?
Whoa.
If you connect that dot, the forgetting itself feels intentional, programmed. The mind is put in trance, commanded to forget, then released.
And if aliens are using hypnosis, deliberately causing amnesia,
What does that say?
memory is identity. Removing it removes evidence, accountability.
And then you have screen memories. These plausible but weird substitute memories. An owl staring in the window, a deer on the road.
Faceless figures.
Hey.
Things that hide the real event.
Exactly. And under hypnosis, sometimes that owl's eyes become huge, black, unblinking, suggesting it was a cover story planted hypnotically.
It really makes you question free will, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How much are we just running old programs? And it's not just memory, it's also sound, feeling.
Absolutely. Every culture knows sound moves the mind. A drum beat speeds your heart, a chant calms you down.
And neuroscience backs this up now, right? Brain waves, beta for thinking, alpha for relaxing, theta for deep trance. They can be influenced by outside stimuli.
Definitely. And think about ancient sites. DiTanna calls them resonant chambers, not just stones. Newgrange in Ireland hums at low frequencies. Shavinda Huantar in Peru used conch shells for swirling sounds.
And the hypogeum of Malta. What was it? 111 hertz, a frequency linked to altered states.
Yeah. Is that just architectural luck or deliberate design? The consistency makes you lean towards design.
And not just sound. Flickering light, like firelight, that matches the brain's alpha rhythm, vibration, maybe even magnetic fields.
And the myths connect too, don't they? Music having divine power. Orpheus, Krishna's flute, Jericho's trumpets.
Could these be garbled memories of techniques that weren't entirely human?
It's possible. And even today, governments research sonic and electromagnetic influence. Things like voice-to-skull tech, non-lethal sonic weapons.
So the idea that frequency can change behavior is taken seriously.
Very seriously. So if aliens have been involved, maybe frequency is their signature. Hidden in temple hums, drum beats, maybe even in our own tech without us realizing why it works.
Implying this subtle, deep control woven through history. Which brings us to post-hypnotic commands.
Right. A hypnotist gives a suggestion that lies dormant. Then hours later, a trigger, a word, a sound makes the person act, feeling like it's their own idea.
So scale that up. Could humanity carry commands planted ages ago, waiting for the right trigger? A ritual, a symbol, a story?
Our culture is packed with potential triggers, calendars telling us when to celebrate or mourn, rituals for life events, symbols on flags, altars.
They evoke instant feelings, right? Without conscious thought. We salute, kneel, sing. It feels natural.
But it's programmed repetition, and tradition often bypasses reason, doesn't it? We do this because we've always done it.
Just like a post-hypnotic suggestion feels self-generated. The original command is hidden. Could these traditions just have evolved naturally, though?
Maybe. But the global similarities hint at something else. Even Jung's archetypes, the hero, the mother, the trickster DiTanna, suggest they could be like post-hypnotic programs installed way back, guiding us through myths.
So a story pattern becomes a trigger for certain behaviors.
It's a possibility. And if hypnosis was seeded, maybe modern culture is where that seed has fully bloomed. Which makes you wonder, when suggestion turns into entertainment, do we just stop resisting?
It feels like it sometimes. The source argues modern culture is the hypnotist now. Advertising repetition, rhythm, association. Just do it. I'm loving it.
Embedding suggestions, bypassing critical thought.
Politics, too. Short phrases repeated like mantras. Yes, we can. Make America great again. Creating a kind of collective trance through emotion.
Film, TV, they induce voluntary hypnosis. We suspend disbelief, absorb values, archetypes.
And now, digital age. Social media. An endless feed designed by algorithms, the ultimate hypnotists, keeping us hooked.
It's everywhere. Makes you want to look closer at every ad, every slogan. What's the instruction hidden inside?
It's a pervasive system, which makes the idea of an ultimate trigger even more unsettling.
Yeah, dormant commands waiting for a global signal. Think about prophecies, Ragnarok, Revelation, Quetzalcoatl's return. Are they just myths?
Or could they be?
Yeah.
Scripts, instructions designed to activate mass behavior at some point.
In today's world, a broadcast signal, a frequency, maybe even a digital message. Could that be the trigger for instructions planted millennia ago?
That's a chilling thought. Millions acting in concert, thinking it's spontaneous. But maybe we're just passengers waiting for the next instruction.
The hopeful part, though, is awareness. Recognizing the mechanism can weaken its power. Knowing the whisper isn't your own thought, that's regaining choice.
Okay, let's shift slightly. What about symbols and dreams? How do they fit in?
Well, those recurring symbols, spirals, eyes, serpents, mirrors, they show up everywhere, across cultures and time. Maybe they're a kind of universal visual language.
Designed to shape consciousness.
That's the idea. The spiral draws focus inwards, like the classic hypnotist's tool. You see it in ancient Celtic art, modern meditation aids.
The eye of Horus, eye of Providence on the dollar bill, symbols of focused attention, demanding submission almost.
Serpents, with that mesmerizing movement, maybe representing the trance state itself. And mirrors, a threshold where reality bends to suggestion.
So if this was alien-seated, art wasn't just decoration, it was like a visual instruction manual for attention.
That's one interpretation. And then there's sleep, that liminal state.
Right, REM sleep, where the brain acts similarly to hypnosis, vivid imagery, lowered critical thinking.
Impossible things seem normal in dreams, and ancient cultures took dreams very seriously. Dream books, gods sending messages, incubation temples in Greece.
They saw dreams as a channel.
And modern abductees often say their experiences felt dreamlike. Could aliens be using that vulnerable state? Is the ambiguity of a dream the perfect cover?
Which brings us crashing into the ethics of all this. Yeah. Hypnosis is powerful. It can heal.
Relieve pain, anxiety, phobias, a real gift.
But it can also control. Implant false memories, extract secrets. The source says the key is consent.
Exactly. That's the ethical pivot point. When influence is hidden in ads, media, rituals, consent disappears.
So what does alien use of hypnosis without consent imply about them?
Does it mean they see influence as neutral? Or justify deception? Or maybe they just don't see us as equals needing consent. The source says the ethics here really mirror our own.
How so?
Because humans use hypnotic-like influence all the time. Parents, leaders, advertisers, we constantly choose whether to empower or exploit. If aliens gave us this tool, maybe they're watching how we handle it. Do we just copy manipulation, or do we find a better way?
Wow. Okay, so let's try to wrap up this pretty mind-bending deep dive. The core idea, hypnosis, whether it came from us or somewhere else, has profoundly shaped human history.
Guiding attention, planting ideas, messing with memory. From ancient caves right up to our glowing screens today.
And looking ahead, the source suggests 3 possible futures for us.
Right? Path 1, awakening. We recognize hypnosis, learn how it works, and reclaim it for good things, healing, creativity, autonomy.
Path 2, submission. Well, just go along with the programming. Live comfortably, maybe, but controlled by voices we don't even hear.
And path 3, stewardship. We embrace the guidance, maybe even willingly merge with some larger intelligence.
Okay.
A partnership.
And new tech AI, neural interfaces, immersive VR could make it almost impossible to tell the difference between alien influence and our own inventions.
Yeah, the lines could blur completely. The danger DiTanna highlights is building the perfect hypnotic machine without even understanding what we've done.
But the opportunity is there too, right? To build tools for awakening instead.
Absolutely.
So it seems the future isn't set. If hypnosis is some kind of test, maybe the real question isn't if aliens use it, but how we choose to respond. Those whispers in our minds might always be there.
But deciding how to answer them, that's still up to us.
Maybe if aliens did give us this tool, they also gave us the chance to master it. What will humanity choose? What will we do with what might be the oldest alien technology of all?